Hey guys, welcome to the Learn Feng Shui podcast, where you'll learn Feng Shui from a classical point of view, taking out the myth and superstition. So if you're interested in learning Feng Shui, Chinese astrology, all things Chinese metaphysics, as well as the superstitions and myths that connect it all, you'll enjoy learning Feng Shui with me. Hey guys, today we're going to talk about January energy update. This is season 6. Episode 1, can't believe that. January 2024 energy. Let's get into it. All right, guys. Hey, I'm so happy to be back for January, bringing in my monthly energy update, and it is the last one for the year of the rabbit. Very excited to be launching also this month my newsletter. And so all the information I cover here and more is available on the website. It will be linked below. I do a monthly blog that I sometimes forget to talk about, and that's where I kind of just read all this information off of. However, I wanted to put it into a easy to use newsletter format that was just very specific, says to do XYZ. And it's just kind of like an easy to use monthly guide, because I have people sometimes they're like, I don't understand what to do, And so I wanted to make it easy to use monthly guide for you guys. And it does, of course, have Zodiac signs most impacted, Feng Shui flying stars, no renovation sectors. And it will have what is called a heavenly stem. So if you do the forecast and you follow those elements, so this year was a water rabbit year, right? If you follow how's the water going to impact me? That is in the newsletter too. That's always in the blog, but I think I made it a little bit easier for the newsletter. And there is an easier to use date selection calendar. So it's actually just in calendar format, and it just highlights some of the best days. And it just has a little guide on how to actually just spend your month and be productive. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. So go check that out, and you can follow along with this episode. I also do a monthly Facebook Live, which I don't talk about much. That is linked below also in the notes. There's the Learn Feng Shui group. So let's get into monthly energy update. This month I'm going to be going over how to use that new format in the Facebook group. But let's check out the forecast for the Zodiac signs. And before we get into that, let's talk about what the month can bring us. All right, guys, getting into January, the last month of the year of the rabbit. Here we have the ox month starting on January 5th. Going through the 20th is that first 15-day solar cycle of energy called lesser cold. And then we have the second solar cycle starting January 20th and lasting all the way till February 4th. And that is called greater cold. And that will usher in the year of the dragon. So the year of the dragon starts on February 4th. So instead of doing those Jie Qi cycles at the end for Folklore Friday, I'm going to actually talk about just some things we can do around our house to prepare for the new year, and prepare our homes. So let's just kind of get into that Jie Qi cycle for this month. Cold and ice is more prevalent during this time. Bad weather. So you may notice that, I live here in Texas, we had a pretty mild winter and it's been really nice, which Farmer's Almanac predicted to be a heavier winter. But winter, as we know, is not over yet. And some of our coldest weather, I think we tend to see, it generally will be January, February, and sometimes even into March. We will get cold snaps and even snow or ice storms, and occasionally as late as early April here in Texas. So we never know. But we will see some bad weather this month, I think. So there's that. But what we can do to stay healthy during this time is nourishing our kidneys. And so I'll link below. There's an asianmedicine.org article. And I really am liking this one for those Jie Qi cycles because it really gets into a lot of Chinese medicine and stuff like that. But this author talks about nourishing your kidneys, going to bed early, eating a lot lighter meals, and doing warm therapy. Especially, he states, if you have arthritis, to stay away from foods that promote cold, like oranges and tropical fruits, sugar, stuff like that. We know that can definitely mess with arthritis. I think especially the sugar. And here it does state that that's from like cold, wind, and damp. And we know that arthritis can act up in the colder weather. So even things like light therapy or doing some light yoga, warming up, taking a walk, sitting in the sun whenever you feel the weather is warm enough is all a good idea during this time. And eating yang or warm foods like cinnamon. So if you think of, kind of a warming spice would be something like cinnamon, but even it states here that like lamb, venison, and alcohol and warming spices can all be eaten around this time to help warm yourself up. And avoiding foods like mint, milk, and yogurts is advised during this time, especially if you do have those arthritis-like conditions. So I'm all with going to bed early. That's good for me. Looking ahead at just what the energy kind of is through the month here. So the wood ox is coming in this month. It's ruling that last month before the Lunar New Year. And the ox is often thought about as a consistent and reliable worker, endlessly pulling their plow. The ox does refuse to give up, especially the wood ox, which sits like a blade in the snow. So a little blade of grass or a little sprout in the snow. Very strong and resilient, and it is nourished by the moisture of that snow, making it strong underneath because that root system is growing. Even though you might see just a tiny sprout. This month can also show us how strong we really are. The ox can bring in more grounded, stable feeling, and the wood does show its time for growth, even if it's small growth. And it's a really good time to start wrapping up the loose ends, finishing projects, closing out contracts, and sending out billing to make the month productive. We'll talk about that in the second part of the show here after we look at those energy updates. I want to go through and kind of talk about what we can do to kind of prepare ourselves for this year. I know we have already passed the new year, but here comes the Lunar New Year, and that really does also symbolize these new beginnings. So to me, the whole month of January really can be used to kind of plan our year, to get started, and to set some intentions for new beginnings. And we'll cover all that after we cover our forecast for the month. And looking at the Zodiac forecast for the month, the Zodiac signs most impacted are going to be the ox. The goat is going to have the clash. The combination or secret friend is the rat. The three harmony is the snake and rooster. And the seasonal combination is going to be the rat and the pig. So what does all that mean, right? Well, if you have it in the year you're born, this represents your group, your friend group, social circle, community around you. In the month you're born, that represents your career and your parental relationships. In the day represents your health, romantic relationships, and the way you truly feel about yourself. Your true self. And the hour does represent your children's thoughts, emotions, feelings, and if you are the boss of a company, your subordinates, if you have people underneath you. Starting off, we always start with the Grand Duke or the ruling energy for the month, the ox. So if you're born under the sign of the ox, we can kind of look to the Shinsha stars for the year to see where you focus your attention. And a couple things that came to mind here was the leopard tail star and the month killing star. They will not kill you and you won't encounter a leopard. It's more along the lines of pettiness and offending people. And so be careful that you don't talk out of term. So here I put avoid controversial topics or speaking out when you should listen or be quiet, and keep unpopular opinions to yourself for now. And the month killing star really is like a minor pettiness. So you'd be best to kind of take that high road and avoid offending people on purpose or stating those, talking out of turn, stuff like that. You can use rat days during the month for activities to help you stay grounded. So look for those rat days within the month. Or you can I wouldn't say spend time in the north because the stars, and we'll get into that in a minute too. So yeah, just find the rat days. So if you are born under the rat or the pig, you have that seasonal combination. And so all three of the signs make the element of water. And so since water represents wisdom, it's a good time to take advantage of opportunity or to showcase your knowledge or gain some experience in your field. Research, case studies, and putting into practice your knowledge. So it's a good time to, say you've been going to school for something and you're ready to do field research or you're ready to get out there and start practicing something. It is the great month for that, and just be ready for the opportunity. And you can use the Northeast Ox sector, which is super lucky this month, for a little bit of a boost. The 3 harmony combination of snake and rooster helps to make connection, and it does form the metal element. And metal does represent precision, execution, and focus. So it's a good month for you to identify or finish projects around your house or at work. So if you have something at work you've been wanting to finish, it's a great month for that. Or even just identifying and planning, it's a really good month for that. Decluttering or reorganizing, restructuring work, and making work schedules is highly supported this month. And you can work in the West to take advantage of the 8 wealth star that is in the sector for the month. So if you have the rat, you have what's called the combo of 6 or the secret friend. So your focus this month is to look for opportunity, learn a new subject or learn new skills at work. You can do really well learning a metaphysical subject or honing in on your intuition this month. That's really highly supported, but do try not to overthink things and make sure you take action. So we really want to make sure that you're not what they call analysis paralysis. You want to make sure you're taking action and really using that energy of intuition. So it's more of a thing of like, you kind of know what to do, so you can do that. And you could use the Northeast to feel more inspired and positive. And again, just that Northeast, the rat combining with the ox this month can be very lucky for any sign really, but for the rat, yeah. Next, we have the clashing zodiac sign, which is going to be your goat, or sometimes people call it the sheep. Okay, so the goat does combine with the rabbit until the end of January, and the combination actually takes precedence over the clash, and it actually takes the clash away, so you won't have a clashing energy this month. So during the clashes, you can actually use opposing energy to make a change and to set yourself some New Year's goals. So all in all, it should not be bad for the sheep/goat sign this month. Now going on to flying stars and our feng shui for the month. So remember, the flying stars for the year are going to be the same until next month. And so we can kind of take advantage of some of that energy still. Let's start first with the best star. So we want to look at the best flying stars and enhance them if needed, or just use them as we need to for our goal. And so flying stars 1, 4, 6, 8, and 9 are all considered positive flying stars. And they are enhanced by feng shui activations. Meaning you can move the energy in the area with like a radio, a fan, an aquarium, a candle, or just placing a moving object in the sector, or to work in the area, work or study. And you can also clean, declutter, and move furniture around. And that helps activate the energy also. Some areas we want to activate, and some of them we just want to work in because they have other energies going on for the year. And an example of that would be the south. So the number 1 star, which is called the authority star, does move to the south, and it will enhance that yearly 8 wealth star that is present in the sector. And this can increase business or enhance your career. And we just want to enhance that by actually just working in the sector. No need to place extra activations because of the some of the other energies that are there that we really don't want to activate, but working in the sector is good. The flying star 4, or the academic star, does fly into the east for the month. So you can follow the 4 star to enhance studying and learning and comprehension for January, but it does join the number 2 illness star. And so you can use the sector to study, but don't place an activation. And just use the area to study and to learn something new. The number 6 luck star does fall in the center, and the center star is not really a palace you can activate, although I've heard some people say that they, may do something in the center of their home. It's not really necessary in my school of thought, in my opinion. So the star actually is the one that governs all the monthly energies. So its effect is felt whether we actively use that sector or not, if that makes sense. If you are a true Gua 5, so some people are the Gua 5, but they know it reverts to like an 8 or a 2. If you follow that, then you'll feel this. So yeah, the 6 is generally increases authority and expertise, and you can just enhance it by enjoying the energy for the month. The ever popular Flying Star 8, well, star does go to Gua 7 or the West this month, and it does join that yearly 6 luck star, making a lucky 8-6 combination. Really great for wealth opportunity, getting ahead in projects, especially if you're the lead, delegating work if you're the boss, and if you're an employee, taking extra assignments and work hours is your ticket to earning extra money for the month. So working in the sector, emails, cold leads, following up with clients, just reaching out to people, doing marketing in the West will be really good, and really just pounding away. Like if you need to get some kind of work done, you can sit there and work in that area, and it does really promote extra work. So yeah, if you're Gua 7, maybe you could look ahead and look at extra work hours and taking up, shifts for people and stuff like that. So yeah, all in all, the West is quite okay. But again, working in the sector, because we do have some other energies going on that we really don't want to just move too much stuff around, but working in the area is quite fine. The Flying Star number 9, or Spiritual and Happiness Star, does go to the Northeast or to the Gua 8. So the 9 Happiness Star joins the 7 yearly star, and a combination isn't really considered to be wonderful, but it is usable, especially if you want to spread your story or get your story out there. So if you're one that makes like social media content, and you have a story to tell, right? If you are using that story, that knowledge, that expertise to spread your message, it's a really good month to do that, if that makes sense. So one thing you do have to watch out for is miscommunication, and so the 7 does carry the connotation of legal or issues. And so you don't want to be, slandering somebody or something like that. So, so do that. So you can use the sector like candles, or use a fan or radio to keep the energy moving in that Northeast. And again, if you can tap into the ox energy and you know where that the ox sits, you can actually have a very, very good month. So that's for anybody using that. Use the Northeast. Use the Northeast this month. Place a candle there. Use it. And I did put a little note here about flying stars, though. Remember, you do not have to activate or cure every sector. So if you're looking at activating, just look at your monthly goal and match the supporting flying stars to your goal and use as described for desired result. And so you don't have to use every single one of these flying stars. So say, for example, you're starting a new study, and you're learning something new. Use the East sector in the Flying Star 4, okay? If you need to secure more work contracts, use the West in Flying Star 8, okay? If you need to gain authority or increase business and enhance that career, use the number 1 authority star. So I hope that makes sense. So you don't have to use every sector, but just use the sector that matches to your goal. Looking at the cures and the negative sectors for the month, remember that flying stars 2, 5, 3, and 7 are considered negative. 2 and 5 are probably considered the most negative, and 3 and 7 are kind of neutral to me. It's more of along the lines of like annoying issues or accidents or incidents. Again, the 3 is more of a quarrelsome star, can cause fighting or arguing, and the 7 it's sometimes called a legal and dispute star, and so it's a thing of like more of a reputation and miscommunication type thing. And so it's up to you whether you want to cure them or not. You can place salt water. The cures do include those saltwater cures, a charm with 6 coins for the 5 star or the 2 star. And if you have other adjustments that you like to do for those stars, go ahead and use those. I don't have all of them listed, nor do I think any work better than some. So I'll leave that up to your discretion, okay? So flying star number 2, starting out, it does go to the north, and in my opinion, this is a particularly, it can be negative. Okay, so that 2-star does have the potential to create some issues, especially if you sleep in the area. Okay, so if you're sleeping there or if you are a Gual 1, this could have the most impact on you. So just keeping the area quiet, placing a salt cure, and if you have other preferred items, go ahead and place those in the north to cure that 2-star and prevent illness for the month. Flying star number 3 is known as the quarrelsome or conflict star. It goes to the southwest for the month. I don't think it necessarily needs a cure. The traditional cure for the 2-3 combination, because it's 2 palace with a 3-star going into it, is going to be fire. And so usually fire can feed the earth and calm and control the number 3, but I don't really love to use fire in the sector. I don't know. To me, I think it's not necessarily doesn't really need to be cured. So if you have a room that you use a lot in the southwest, sometimes it creates that conflict, arguing, or just anger. So if you spend a lot of time there, if you have a bedroom there, then you might want to, another thing that I've heard is you could put a flag. So, because a flag is a fire energy, put a little flag there, I don't know, never used it. It could be actually great for individuals that play defensive or aggressive type sports for occupation, or if you are like a lawyer, because it represents the arguing, you're professionally arguing. So if you are a Guatu or you spend a lot of time in the area, just keep your anger under control. And here we have the flying star number 7. It's always kind of, in flying stars and feng shui, whatever, it's always the answer is it depends. And so is the 7-star going to cause issues? It depends. So again, I kind of talked earlier about the 7-star to me being a little bit more neutral, but more along the lines of a petty dispute. And since it does kind of talk about the legal issues or dispute issues, it does join the yearly star number 5. And sometimes that means it can get aggressive, that disaster star. And so if you're sleeping in the sector, already, if you have a chronic illness, sometimes the 7-star going in can represent the need for surgery. And so if you are sleeping in the sector, do either cure it with a salt cure, keep the sector quiet, avoid like arguments in the sector, just kind of keep it quiet generally. If you're a Gua 6, do take caution about how you speak to other people. And if you do have a chronic illness and you feel like something is getting worse, you do want to make sure you go for that doctor visit. If it's not a sector you're not sleeping in, don't just start all of a sudden using this sector. So, but all in all, more about miscommunication and speaking out of turn. And when it goes to the 5-star, sometimes that can mean offending somebody so much to the point that they take legal action against you. So we just want to avoid that. So keep it quiet, guys. And the worst flying star of them all, the one that has the worst rap, is going to be your number 5 disaster star, which does fall in the southeast, or the Gua 4 for the month. You can just take a salt cure here, but the 5-star is pretty neutral in the southeast. And it is controlled there. So it's honestly not that big of a deal. So it does join the number 3 conflict star. So Gua 4s. This can also represent your foot being injured or being angered very easily. So let's try to not do that. And watch your feet and stuff like that, especially if you spend a lot of time in the sector. Watch your feet and ankles around the area. Should be quite okay though. 5-star in the southeast is not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. So you can place a saltwater cure if your bedroom is here. And then the note I wrote about flying stars on here is, much like the positive stars, you don't have to cure every sector. You only place cures in sector that you spend the most time in, or if a negative star falls at your front door, in your work office or desk, in your kitchen or bedroom, then you might want to look at that. Also, if it falls in your life Gua number. So if you are a Gua 4, then you're going to want to watch out for the 5-star, if that makes sense. So highly encourage you to check out this new newsletter format because I really feel like I made it a lot easier to read. And it is an easy PDF downloadable format if you'd like prefer that. To me, I feel like you can see it better, but I did make it available also just in picture format on the site. I just think it might be too small to read without like downloading it as the PDF. So you can download it as a PDF and save it right to any device. And you should be quite good to go and be ready for the energy for the month. All right, guys, we're going to take a mid-show break, and I'm coming into 2024 with no official show sponsor, but that's actually just fine with me because it gives me a chance to kind of tell you about what's going on at learnfengshui.com. So I guess I'm my own unofficial sponsor here. So again, learnfengshui.com. It's always linked in the show notes, but I want to talk to you about my free offering. So in addition to doing the floor plan mapping, which I think a lot of people find a little bit of a stumbling block on because inevitably I'll either lose somebody at getting a accurate scale floor plan, or I'll lose somebody in getting the compass direction of the home. And so I do need those two things to do accurate floor plan mapping. If you're like, I just want to have questions about this one room, or I just want to learn how to set up this one thing, my new offering is going to be a one room setup for free. And so we can just, meet via Zoom. I'll put that link down below. And then we'll be able to, adjust your space. You can ask me any feng shui questions you may have, and we can go on about our business. And again, the floor plan mapping will still be available, but this will just be in addition if anyone has any questions. Also, if you've done the floor plan mapping and you're not really sure what you're looking at there, or you have any questions about that, you can always book. There's a free consultation time too. Just hit that free consult and the link, and we can talk about that then. Okay, so I'm pretty flexible on that. Let's just, let's have a feng shui chat, I'll be going over also energy for the year of the dragon. And so I'm going to have that blog post available, and that'll be available also to read in a PDF. It's going to be the same format as a newsletter. And so it'll be all about the flying stars and everything for 2024. And that'll be available on the website soon. So just kind of keep checking back for that. Then the last announcement is on the 21st, I'll be doing a Zodiac forecast. I want to do a Zodiac party to bring in the year of the dragon, and we'll do Zodiac forecast and just have a little bit of fun. That's probably going to be, at least it'll be a Sunday morning for me. So maybe mimosas will be included in that. I don't know. But so I encourage you to grab a, Sunday brunch drink or whatever, and come to my Zodiac party. That will be linked as soon as that is, I've set a time, but I think that will be linked in the events part in my website, and I'll put a link for that below. So if you don't see that by the time this episode goes out, probably won't, then just keep checking back, and there will be a link to register, and I'd really love for you guys to join me for that. It's always a fun thing that I do each year. So let's go ahead and get to our next segment of the show, where we're going to talk about things we can do for our home to kind of prep it and usher out this year of the rabbit and welcome in the year of the dragon. All right, guys, so we know the New Year's passed, and you may have some sort of traditions that you do in the new year. I know here in the US, one of the main things is eating black-eyed peas on New Year's. So there's lucky foods and stuff like that. And so we're very similar to the Eastern traditions when it comes to eating specific lucky foods or doing something lucky for the New Year's. Also here it said that, we don't throw out our trash, we don't sweep or do laundry on New Year's Day, because we want to keep the luck. If we sweep, we're sweeping out luck, or if we do laundry, we're actually washing away the luck. So if you did those things on New Year's Day, really it's okay, because the Lunar New Year's coming up. And so I kind of look at the energy for January. Of course, we want that good luck, but I kind of feel like January really is a month of like planning, the kind of building the energy and getting ready for the year. And so I really do feel like the month can be used like that. And so there's a few things we can do to make our whole month productive, and we're going to go over that. So, as I mentioned last year when I did my setting your goals or intentions for the new year, I did make the point that maybe you should wait until February to do your resolutions or to do your goals, because February is the official start of spring according to that New Year's the lunar calendar. And remember when I talk about those Jechi cycles at the beginning of the episode. So the very first one does start in February. That's what brings in the year of the dragon. And so it's just a whole new cycle that starts in February. It brings in the beginning of spring. And so, it's best, I think, to manifest when the season is growing. And in January, the season is still kind of dormant. Remember, it's winter, but it's the grave of winter. The ox houses the grave of winter, And so to me, I feel like it's really a time where things should still be a little bit dormant, quiet. We should still be doing the inner reflection that we were doing. And we can manifest better, I think, if we set those goals to February and use this month to get prepared. So yeah, use January to get prepared. You didn't miss out on anything, I think. And use the building energy to prep you for the new year, the entire year. Another thing to do to prep for the new year is to spring clean. Clean your closets, get rid of things, and deep clean or reorganize. So just kind of doing that and tidying the house up. Usually we're putting away our Christmas trees and, kind of putting away all those ornaments and stuff like that. That makes it a perfect time to get some deep cleaning done. Maybe you dust those ceiling fans and clean those baseboards, but it's a really good time to, clear out a whole area, rearrange furniture, and do your spring cleaning. Maybe make some donations, clean out a closet. Number 3 is doing a digital clean out. So you can definitely do a digital clean out files, old pictures, delete those old memes and prep your workspace for the new year. Also, if you have a separate work desk, cleaning out your desk and clearing it off makes just a clean slate for the new year work-wise. Decorating with the color red is also a really good thing to do this time of year. So number 4, decorate with red. So red is considered obviously a lucky or auspicious color in Eastern traditions. When they do their New Year's decorating and celebrating for the Chinese New Year, the lanterns are red. They use the red like sigils on either side of their door. And so, you want to you can kind of mimic that with doing your own red decor. You don't have to do the traditional Chinese decor, but you can definitely maybe have some poinsettias left over from Christmas, or you have just some red stuff you have left out, red tablecloth or something like that you left out from your Christmas celebrations. I know that I like to decorate my fireplace. I have like a little spread up there with like holly berries, and I also have little cardinals. And so I have a picture with 2 red cardinals on top of my fireplace. And I kind of swap that art out seasonally. And that's kind of how I bring in that touch of different elements and colors throughout the year. And so I just love putting those up around Christmas time. And I really love cardinals. So that's one of my favorite little things to look at in the winter. And also the red does add a touch of the fire element to a space. So this year, or this time of year, I suppose, we're rather low on the fire energy with the dreary skies. We're in a season of greater and lesser cold at those coldest times of the year. And I know we definitely get a lot less sunshine here in West Texas. So that red helps to add some of that back into the space. Number 5, doing a house clearing with sage or incense or, something like that. So you want to make sure you're doing your house clearings, your house blessings, bringing some new intention into your space, as well as clearing out the old energy. I know one of the traditions on New Year's also is to open up your windows and your doors to let the old year out and the new year in, let that old energy out. And that is traditional with the Eastern cultures too for Chinese New Year. And so you don't have to do that specific day, but you can definitely clear your space and then open your windows and doors just for a few minutes to let the air recirculate and get a little bit of fresh new energy into your space, kind of revitalize it. Number 6, get a new plant the new plant can help symbolize new growth for the year. And so I know I kind of mentioned the Christmas poinsettias earlier. So maybe you have some poinsettias. You can, put those out that will do the red and the new plant. So there you go. I usually love to buy them, and I didn't get around to it this year for some reason. I just didn't grab one. And so I usually get 2 of them to flock my red fireplace. And so you can definitely get some new plants, make sure you're cutting back and getting rid of the old ones that are in your house. Go through your home. If you're a plant mama, but you don't seem to be able to keep houseplants alive, just like me, then this can definitely be for you. But clear out the old pots, dump the old dirt out, get a few new plants to help symbolize that new growth. If you need a really low maintenance one, you can go buy some bamboo. That's traditional also for Chinese New Year. You can go buy some bamboo and just kind of keep that around to just symbolize and think about the growth for the year. And last, you can add some smells to your home. And so I know, again, I like certain smells in my home, the cinnamon, or, I kind of swap it out seasonally. And so this time of year, I'll do like cinnamon or spicy, maybe like apple scented. And in the spring, I'll do like oranges, lemons, minty scents. I really like those. But you can kind of add those to your home, whether it's a oil burner or a candle or one of those wax melt pots, just kind of add some different scents to your home that make you feel cozy this time of year. Remember, we still want to bring the warmth in. I know that some people like to do simmer pots, and so you can look up some recipes for different simmer pots and, kind of see what that can add to your space. But don't forget to add the scent, because I think the scent in our home is really what makes it feel homey to us, whether that's a cooking smell of just, foods we traditionally eat, or baking, or burning candles and stuff like that. So I'll leave that up to you how you want to add the smell, because whatever feels most cozy and homey to you, I think is what you should do. But add those smells to the home to give it that little extra touch. Number 7, clean your front entrance, both inside and out. I know leaves accumulate around mine. Whenever you have a lot of accumulation of dust, dirt, leaves, and stuff, like that, that means the chi can be getting captured there. And so we want the energy to be coming inside our home. And remember that front entrance and the area right outside our door is what captures and brings in the chi, or the energy. And so you can even get a new plant to put outside your front door. That's a really good idea to help bring in the energy. But make sure you're cleaning the leaves up and cleaning that front entrance, even wiping your door down, especially if you have like windows there, because you want to be able to have that symbolic, like, clear sight of who's coming into your home, right? And so we want to make sure that's all clean and the energy and the chi is coming in to your space. Another little tip for the front door is to blow cinnamon into your front door at the beginning of each month. I know they say it helps to bring abundance in, and you can also use that Chinese calendar. We usually, again, the energy shifts about anywhere from the 3rd to the 7th each month. And so during that time, you can just take a little handful of cinnamon and blow it into your front door to welcome abundance in. All right, guys, don't forget to check out that new newsletter format, which will be linked below. Follow it. Let me know how easy or difficult it is to follow. If it's a piece of crap, let me know, and I can always edit, tweak, or fix anything on there. So I'm, not afraid. Just give me some feedback. The feedback has been positive so far, so I'm sure it's pretty. Not to brag, but I think it's pretty good. Anyways, go check out learnfengshui.com. Don't forget to check back for the blog for the yearly energy updates. I think that episode's going to be out the 19th, but I'll probably put the blog post up way before that, just so you guys can get prepared and to register for the event for the Zodiac forecast for 2024, which is such a fun event for me. All right, I'll catch you guys next week, where we're going to talk about the period 9 and what that shift in energy is going to look like and what that time cycle means. For a free one-room consultation or energy mapping of your space, follow the link in the show notes. To support the podcast, share with your family and friends, leave a review, or go to learnfengshui.com.